October 2021 was a huge money spending month for us because we bought a new car. I'm going to go through our entire budget, give you all the details of the new car, and give you a net worth update in today's video. Hey guys, I'm Marissa and welcome back to my channel. Here on my channel we talk about life and money and how you can enjoy life while still accomplishing financial goals through the use of a budget, and I share my personal household budget here on YouTube. So if you want to stay tuned for more upcoming videos, definitely subscribe to my channel so you won't miss any new videos. I'm filming today's video on Halloween night. We had a lovely evening. We got to take our son Peter out for trick-or-treating for the first time. It was so much fun. It was so cute. But I wanted to get this video finished and out to you guys because we completed another month of our budget. We had some huge money moves this month. But before we get into it, I want to let you know the budget template I'm using is one that you can get yourself on my shop. I will have a link to that in the description box down below for you to check out. And I also want to let you know that I actually have a course called the Budget Breakdown course, which includes everything you need to know about budgeting. So if you want to get started with budgeting, maybe you've never budgeted before, or maybe you're kind of budgeting but it seems really frustrating or confusing, this is the course for you. I walk through everything you need to know, how we budget, how to start your own budget and stick with it, and how you can use your budget to help you accomplish your financial goals. It's only $37. You get lifetime access, super affordable, and you also get a free budget template included with that. So if you want to get the budget template and you're thinking about the course, go check out the course because you also get the budget template. So you can check that out. I will also have a link to that in the description box down below. Before we dive in, I'll give you a little bit of backstory. I live in the Portland, Oregon area with my husband Jacob and our 17-month-old son Peter. We're a family of 3. We own our own home, and here is how we spent our money this month. So the first thing that you see here is our income section. I have Jacob's income individually blocked out as well as my business income. Jacob is a W-2 employee. He works in product marketing. He works fully remote from home, which is awesome. And then I make money for my business, which is everything that I do here on YouTube. So I have that blocked out just to keep those individual things private, but I do show you our other income. This is where things got a little crazy this month. So our other income, we budgeted $300 as the child tax credit, and we actually brought in $31,364.84. So $300 of that was the child tax credit. And then we had a big money thing happen this month where we bought a new car. So we ended up buying a 2018 Toyota Highlander. This was like everything I could have wanted in a car. We wanted like leather with a sunroof and like all the bells and whistles. So we ended up getting the SE version, the trim, and that had like all the things that we were wanting in it. And it also has the captain's chairs, which we really liked. And we had previously before this just been like casually browsing, but if you have been looking for a car right now, then you know like it's really hard to find something. And so randomly this week, like this exact car that we wanted came up for like at the dealership, and we were like, okay, that's the exact car we want, and we know that things go fast, so we decided to just like pull the trigger and just buy the car because it was literally exactly everything we could have wanted. And I'll also share about this when you see our net worth update, but we actually did end up getting it for I think a good deal, and it was actually below Kelley Blue Book value, even though we did buy it at a dealership. So we felt really good about the purchase. So the way that we paid for it was a combination of selling our 2013 Toyota Corolla, which we sold that for $10,350. We actually bought it 3 years ago for $7,500, which I know the car market has been crazy, so we actually made money on that. And so we had, $10,000 about from that. We also then cashed out the money that we had in our non-retirement brokerage account that we'd been like saving for some sort of upcoming purchase that we then had kind of deemed like we'd use it towards a future car. And so the money that we had that came out of that was $20,650. So right there, that was $31,000. The entire car purchase, I guess I didn't share that. The entire car purchase cost was about a little less than $37,000. And then between some additional fees that we, had to pay, it was like DMV fees and stuff like that, as well as Jacob wanted to do like a ceramic coating on the car, we ended up paying a total of $38,300 as a grand total for the car. It's a lot of money. So to backtrack then, we had $10,350 come from the sale of the Toyota Corolla. We had $20,650 come from our brokerage account, so that was $31,000. So the remaining about the remaining $7,300, you'll see in here, we actually took from our emergency fund, and I'll talk a little bit more about that later. But we therefore did kind of pay for the car in cash, which was awesome. But the money that you can see here is including the sale of the Corolla as well as cashing out the money that we had in our brokerage account. So that's why this is significantly so much right here. So the total income that we have is $38,140.80. Okay. We'll talk more about the car when we get to these other line items that you'll see. I think it'll make more sense once you see it there. So we have a zero-based budget, which means all of our income equals all of our expenses, debt, and savings, all the money out. So the first thing that you'll see here is our expenses. The first line item that we have here is our tithe. We are Christians and we believe in giving to our church and other organizations. So we tithe 10%. And I just tithed off of our income, not off of like the brokerage and the sale of the Corolla and stuff like that, just like our job income. So that was $710. Next we have is Africa New Life at $78. Then we have missions. We support another missions organization at $40 each month. Then we have our mortgage, which is at $2,220.50. This includes principal, interest, taxes, and insurance. Then we have our HOA, which is at $121.46. And then water, sewer, it was actually a little bit lower this month at $89.08. Next we have is natural gas, which was pretty low at only $19 this month. And that's because we had a very like mild month where we didn't have to turn on a bunch of heat or turn on air conditioning, which was nice. Next we have is trash. We pay trash every other month. This month was a trash month, so that is $58.72. Then we have electric, which again was a little bit lower at $48.87. Then we have internet, which is at a standard $44.99. And then our phones are at $114.97 each month for my cell phone and Jacob's cell phone. Then we have our car insurance. So this was at $110.16 for both of our cars. And then life insurance for myself and my husband Jacob at $52.89. Next we have is groceries, which we budget at $450. We actually spent $469.87, which I'm actually pretty impressed by that for us. I think that like we only went over just a little bit, which was great. Next we have is eating out. We budgeted $150. We only spent $70.67. I'm actually kind of surprised by this because we ate out a lot this last week because we've been doing a floor project at our home. Jacob ripped up all the hardwood and the carpet downstairs and laid new luxury vinyl plank. And so it's just been a crazy week. Honestly, it's been hard of like living life with a toddler, being at home, and living with like a kitchen and living room and everything in dismay. So we did eat out a little bit more this week, or got takeout because of that chaos. But we still stayed way under budget then. Next we have is gas. We budgeted $100. We spent $117.49. Then we have fun. We budgeted $50. We spent $93.98. One thing that we did pay for this month was for Zoo Lights pass. So we're going to go during Christmas time to Zoo Lights that are like local zoo, and they have like a drive-through where you can view Christmas lights. It was $52, I think, for like a one-time pass to like go through Zoo Lights, which is a lot, and we even got a discount on that being members. But we're like, you know what, we're gonna do it. We're gonna enjoy it. It'll be fun. So $93.98 is what we spent. Next we have is miscellaneous. Wow, we spent a lot here. We budgeted $100 and we actually spent $235.53. So that was definitely a lot. Next we have is birthday. It was Jacob's 30th birthday in the month of October, which was exciting. So we normally don't spend this much money on birthday, but I feel like this was a really big milestone. So we just wanted to celebrate him. Got him a nice gift that he wanted, and then we also went out with some friends to go play Topgolf, was what he wanted to do. So we budgeted $650. We actually spent $675.51 between those things, which was just a little bit over budget. Next we have is Peter. So we put $50 a month into a brokerage account that's in our names, but the purpose of it is that we will gift it to Peter someday, and we'd love to use it to be able to help him with like a new car, or like his first car, or even like a down payment on a house or a wedding. So we put $50 a month into that. And then college, we budget $200 each month to go to his 529 college savings plan. This month we actually did $220, just ended up like that. So $220 went to his $529. So all these expenses ended up being $5,641.69. Okay, let's move into the savings section of the budget. Oof. And again, the car stuff, it'll come through here. It'll make more sense, but also it was a little crazy. I was trying to figure out how to work it into the budget here. So the first thing that we have here is our emergency fund. So let's look at the beginning balance here. We started with over $20,000. We've kept it at $20,000 in our emergency fund. We've had this in a high yield savings account, so it's earned a little bit of interest. But that is about 5 to 6 months of necessary expenses for us. And I love to try and stick this emergency fund between 3 to 6 months of necessary expenses. So when the car purchase came up, we were like, okay, we could actually just reduce our emergency fund and take that money to then pay for the car. And like we were thinking of reducing the emergency fund anyway. So I think our goal is to keep this at like more like 15 instead of 20. So therefore, we pulled the remainder of what we needed to be able to cover the cost of the car in full without taking on a loan by taking out $7,235.16. That's how much we had to take out to make that new car purchase. But it's honestly crazy to me that we were able to buy this car in cash. Like $38,000 that we were like, okay, like I wrote a check at the dealership for so much money. I was like, I've never written a check this big. And thinking back to even 2.5 years ago, you guys, like I was driving a 98 Camry. And the fact that we were able to like pay cash, I mean, I know we did dip into the emergency fund, but again, I know I kind of feel weird about that, but again, we were planning to reduce that. So this just felt like we're like, okay, I guess we'll just use some of this money to pay for the car then. But it's crazy to me that we're able to purchase a car like this in cash, and it's the dream car that we know we're going to keep for a long time. So we're really excited about it, and I feel good about it that we were able to just like pay for it in cash. And crazy because I also look back at like when we first got married, Jacob and I each came into our marriage with $40,000 of student loan debt each. And so it's crazy when we look at like the cost of this car was almost the cost of each of our student loans totals, and it took us, you know, so long to pay off all of that debt. So I'm just really grateful for where we are and grateful that we were able to purchase this car and make it happen. And yeah, I don't know if I have anything else to say about that other than just like really glad that we were able to get the car we wanted. And I know it seemed like we purchased it kind of quickly, but also we were like wanting to get a Highlander, and we were like kind of had an idea of what we wanted to get. So I don't feel like we made an impulse purchase here, like we were planning to do this. But anyway, yeah, we did take $7,000 out. So our emergency fund now is at $12,845. Again, we'd like to get this up to 15. So I guess I'd take out a little bit more than what I should have. This is a thing where it's like personal finance is personal, right? And I feel okay about the decision. So we're going to get that back up in the next couple months. And it was nice to just like pay for the car outright, not have to worry about a loan or anything. We definitely could have done a loan, but we didn't. So that's what's super nice about that. Okay, moving on. Next we have is Jacob. Jacob gets $250 of personal spending money each month, and he spent $253.35 this month, so he now has $127.39. Next is my personal spending. I get $100. The reason why I get less is simply because I'm just not as much of a spender, so I feel fine not getting as much money each month for personal spending. But I spent $71.99 this month, and so I have $154. Next we have is extra giving. We put $50 a month into extra giving, and this allows us to say yes to additional giving opportunities when they come up. So this month we actually spent $502. We support 2 children with African New Life, as I shared earlier. Like we support them monthly, and there's an option to like do a Christmas gift thing for them. So we did that this year. We spent $502 on those Christmas gifts. You have to like buy it earlier so that it gets there in time. So we did that, and obviously now we are negative $126.95 in this fund. The way that I work our sinking funds is I take the grand total of all the sinking funds and add it up and keep that amount in one account. So that way it's like when this one is negative, it's really not a negative account balance because it's the combination of all of the accounts. That makes sense. So next we have is gifts. We put $50 a month into gifts, whether that's going to be for baby shower, wedding, or something like that. So we now have $115.96 in that fund. Then we have clothing we put $50 a month into, and that is now at $20.03. The next thing we have is vacation. We are now putting $150 into our vacation fund each month. This month we spent $23.97 on vacation. I need to go and look at what that was because we didn't go on vacation this month. I have no idea. Oh, actually, I'll tell you what that was. That was the tolls that we had to pay from our trip that we took in September. We went to Dallas, and then we like rented a car, went through all the tolls, and then a month later they billed us for the tolls. That's what it was. So we spent $23.97 on tolls that weekend. So we now have $15.95 in that account. We have a trip planned to go to Los Angeles in May, so we have a lot of time. So we're just saving minimally until that trip comes. Next we have is Christmas. We put $100 this month into the Christmas fund. Christmas is less than 2 months away now. It's coming up. And we actually did a lot of Christmas shopping this month because with all of the shipping delays and supply chain issues, we wanted to get that done earlier. So we spent $634.80 on like the big Christmas gifts this year. So we now have $151.21 in that account. Next we have is medical. We put $25 a month into a medical fund. We spent $230.49. So we are actually now negative $151.65 in that. So I may need to address that because that's pretty low. So we'll have to figure that out. Next we have is cord blood registry. We did cord blood banking through cord blood registry with my son Peter when he was born, and there's an annual fee that comes due. And so instead of having that like one larger fee every year, we break it up. We can save $31 each month, and then when the time rolls around, we'll have all the money to pay the fee. So $31, so we now have $155. Next we have is car maintenance. We put $25 into, but we actually spent $217.05 on car maintenance because we got like a couple new things for the new car. We're getting like new headlights for it, and then we had to take our old car through the car wash, just like a couple random little things. So $217.05 is what we spent. So this fund is actually now negative $60.25. You know, until I'm going through this with you, like this is so helpful for me to go through with you because I'm really looking at the details of everything, and wow, a lot of these accounts are negative, and I did not realize that all of them went negative. So this is definitely something that we need to address and be better at for future. So next we have is house maintenance. We put $400 into house maintenance this month. We spent a lot. We spent $26.90 on house maintenance because of our new floors. So the new flooring itself was a little over $1,800, maybe. I think it was maybe closer to $2,000 once we got everything for it. And then we spent about $700 on additional supplies for the project and tools and things like that. So honestly, a lot cheaper than if we would have paid someone else to do it, right? So I think we definitely saved on that, but we now have $686.89 in that fund. Next we have is household. We put $100 a month into household, and we spent $112, so we now have negative $21. And then we put $100 into the baby fund. This covers anything we need for our son Peter, like diapers, wipes, clothing, toys, all sorts of things. And we spent $140 this month, so it's now at negative $51. Okay, and then here's the car replacement line item that I just added in here. So $31,064 came from the sale of our Toyota Corolla, as well as the money from our non-retirement brokerage account. And then the money that we have spent was that came out of this fund was the money then that we transferred, obviously, to pay for the car. And this money plus the emergency fund then equals the $38,300, the cost of the car. So that's how I had that split apart, was just taking the proceeds from the sale of the car as well as our brokerage account, and then the emergency fund was the rest of it to make up the difference of the overall sale of the vehicle. Whew, man, that was a lot of money, but we did it. And then here is our brokerage account. We were planning to put money into it. We've been saving money in this brokerage account for, you know, a big financial goal, or like buying a car or whatever. But this month we obviously bought the car, so we don't need to put any more money into that right now. Right now our next focus is going to be bringing that emergency fund just back up a little bit more to $15,000 to get to like a better spot in that. So we'll bring that back up to 15. So I just put negative in here so that this will zero out, now has a zero balance in our brokerage account. So Whew, that was a lot of stuff, you guys. Our difference here, this line calculates the difference between our income and all of our money out, because that's how you determine a zero-based budget, and that's zero, so every dollar got assigned. But now to show you our net worth update, I also did update this a little bit more as well, which I'll show you. So your net worth is made up of your assets minus your liabilities, or the things you own minus the things you owe. So first off are our assets, the things that we own. The first thing we have here is retirement. We now have $113,118. That is included in Roth IRAs and a 401k, and we put money into Jacob's 401k this month. So we had an increase of $5,354, which is great. Next we have is our house. Our house went up to $542,000, so that went up $3,000 this month. Next we have is our emergency fund, which obviously went down $7,200 because of the car. So that's now at $12,845. Then we have our sinking fund, like extra cash money that we have, and that is now at $2,593. So that went down because we spent a lot of money out of our sinking funds between Christmas and house maintenance, as you guys saw, and extra giving, all those things. Next we have is our brokerage account, which, as you can see, started out the month at $19,875, and actually we didn't even put anything into it, and it ended up we ended up selling when it was at $20,650. So we actually made a good chunk of money on it like this month, and then sold it, but obviously now it's at zero. Then we have our Robinhood account. I have a Robinhood account where I bought some single stocks, and if you're interested in signing up for Robinhood, you can get a free stock. I'll have a link to that in the description box. You can check it out there. That is now at $1,973. Then we have the Toyota Corolla. We had it listed on here at $10,287 at the beginning of the month. We sold it for $10,350. And actually, by the time that we actually sold it, it was up more in value. I think the Kelley Blue Book for it was closer to like $10,700, and we sold it for $10,300. I feel good about it. Went to an awesome family, so really happy about that. But obviously, we don't have that anymore, so that's at zero. And now we have listed our 2018 Toyota Highlander, which we bought at, again, the value of the actual car, like the value of the car when we bought it, was at $36,600. I think that's what it was. And the Kelley Blue Book on it, even just a few days later after we bought it, is now at $38,019. So that's why I feel like we got a good deal on it. Even though we bought it from a dealership, it was like everything we wanted. There's like no inventory for it, and we still got it below Kelley Blue Book. So we felt good about that. Next we have is our 2013 RAV4, and we are keeping that car, and that went up to $18,905. That went up an increase of about $1,000. So all of our assets, or the things that we own, are $729,454. The only thing we owe money on is our mortgage, and that is at $386,000. And so our total net worth is $343,000. And this went up over $7,500 this month, which is great. So you may notice that there were a couple things missing from my net worth if you typically watch my videos. I actually moved a couple things out of our net worth because I've just realized that they are not necessarily my things. I've been saving money for other things. So I wanted to make this like footnotes part of my net worth update, because I'm still going to keep track of these things, but they don't technically make up my net worth. And I have had comments about this previously, and I just kind of had this like realization that I'm like, yeah, I should just probably take that out. So the things that I've taken out are my tax fund. So since I am self-employed, I am saving money for taxes. Obviously, I will have to pay money in taxes, so we are saving for that. We now have $20,000 in the tax fund. I honestly don't think that we're going to have to pay that much in taxes, but I've just been saving a percentage of my income each month for my business, and we're also paying additional taxes through the year to make sure that we pay enough through the year, and then when we get around to tax time, we expect that we'll owe money, but we've been saving for it here. So this money I've previously included in the net worth section, but then I've realized that, yeah, this isn't really my money. Like, I'm saving this money because I'm going to give it to the government in like February, so I might as well just have this as like a footnote. So that's down there, as well as the brokerage account that I talked about for our son Peter. Even though it's in our names, we plan to give it to Peter someday. So I don't want to get to our net worth, sometime in 15 years and then be like, oh, well, now it decreased because we, gave this money. So I'm just keeping that in the footnote section as well. That's now at $4,195. And then Peter's $529. Obviously that's not my money at all. That's for the benefit of Peter. So that is now at $44.12. We put, we actually put $220 into that this month. And that is the money that Peter's getting for college. So all of these like footnote assets I have labeled here are now at $28,607. So that definitely obviously lowers our net worth. We were cruising at, what were we at? We were closer to, 370. And so now I'm just kind of making an adjustment to take out the things that aren't really mine and Jacob's net worth, but just like footnote. So that's what I have there. Okay, you guys, this has been a really long video. I've been super excited though about the car and wanting to share some of those details with you. I'm really grateful that we were able to buy it in all cash. It just felt like everything kind of lined up for us, and I'm glad that we were able to purchase the car debt-free. It feels really good. So that is our budget update and net worth update for the month of October. Leave me a comment below. Let me know how your October went. And also don't forget to check out this budget template if you want to get it as an instant download. And also check out my budget breakdown course where you can get this budget template and everything you need to know about budgeting in that course. And I will have a link to that in the description box as well. And I will look forward to seeing you in the next video. Bye.
About to leave.